Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be discussing the LEGO Ninjago Reimagined shorts and talking about the potential for each of them to have a sequel released at some point, because I'm sure for some of them there are definitely opportunities to continue the stories that they set up within the shorts. So I kind of wanted to go over each of them in this video and just sort of discuss my thoughts and opinions and sort of theories as to what they could wind up doing for these shorts in the future. So we'll start off going in order of release for each of them, with of course the first one being Golden Legend. And with this one, I definitely think there is a ton of potential to continue this story. Of course, it honestly did end up on what was basically a cliffhanger ending, because of course we get to see that one of the ninja of the golden statues is actually starting to break open. So definitely leaving it open there to kind of have a sequel. Of course, if you don't really remember how this was sort of set up in the Golden Legend short, it's basically a dystopian future that they have for Ninjago, where everything just seems to have kind of gone wrong, and we see that the ninja are being defended by a dragon because they've been frozen in gold. And then by the end of the short, we can see that they wind up actually starting to break out of that gold. So I definitely think there is potential to kind of continue that story and sort of expand upon it. Honestly, there's a ton you could do about that, because it's basically just a future sort of Ninjago series that they're sort of setting up there, because that could just be an alternate dark future that they wind up in the future of the Ninjago show. So I think there's definitely a lot of potential to sort of explore that. Now, I think it will be smart for all of these shorts to kind of stick with the animation style that they've developed for them, so that you have some sort of continuity between each of them. I also would like to see if they did continue to do the reimagined shorts, let's say once every year they produce 5 of them. I would like to see them try some different animation styles, but for these ones specifically that I'm going to discuss in this video, I think when you're doing a sequel, it would be good for them to kind of stick with that sort of core animation that they sort of made up for each of them. So the style that they went with this one, I would definitely like to see them continue with that. And then the next short that we have here, so with that one, I definitely say it's a very high chance that we would wind up getting a continuation if they do plan on doing sequels, just because of kind of the cliffhanger that they left us on. But now continuing here, we have the Gold Rush short, and this one is another one where I definitely think there's potential to continue this story, because honestly, it was just such a cool animation style, and the way that we ended it, yes, it did kind of conclude that self-contained story that it ended up doing, of course, kind of exploring Kai and Nia's relationship in the short, and just kind of them teaming up against this enemy that they have in this sort of futurist Ninjago sort of, I don't know, society that they're in. So I thought that was really interesting, and of course we do get closure by the end of it, but I definitely would like to see, are the other ninja around in this future? Why were there only Kai and Nia in this adventure? Of course we had Cyrus Borg in it as well, but in the realm of the ninja, I would like to kind of see them, how they're doing in this future, what's going on with their characters. So I definitely think you can kind of open it up in that regard as well. And it's cool also because they did wear their golden outfits, to maybe see some of the other ninja wearing them within that animation style as well, and kind of see what sort of role they could wind up playing in the future, because I assume that statue that they had, that little one of Wu, it could give them sort of the ability for all of the ninja to wear those uniforms. So we could see some more adventures for the future of that short. I definitely think there is probably about the same amount of potential for this one as the Golden Legend one. I would say maybe just a tiny bit less, like 5% less. I would say it's not by much, but mainly just because they do wind up closing that story and concluding it in a like fulfilling way. And with the Golden Legend one, don't get me wrong, I think it was a great short, but it does leave room to kind of expand upon that story as well with the ending. So for Gold Rush, I would like to see a continuation for that one as well. And then the next one is a day in the life of a golden ninja, and this one, honestly, I think that you could continue it, because it is kind of just sort of the idea of like Looney Tunes shorts, where it's kind of just that sort of comedic, just quick sort of slapstick that fits really well in this short form. So I think you could do a continuation of it, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary, because there isn't really a story that you kind of have to continue with this sort of what they set up in the actual short here. There isn't any sort of continuation, like we don't need to see them clean the monastery again or really anything of that sort. I think there is potential maybe to send this golden ninja and this dragon on maybe a goofy or wacky sort of adventure, but I don't know if they would wind up going in that direction. I would honestly, if we're limited to to like 5 shorts, let's say, each year. And of course, that's not like officially what they're confirmed to be doing, but just taking a guess of what they potentially could be planning for the future. If we're only limited to that, I would honestly like to see for this slot just them doing some sort of different animation style or story even in this style, because I did like the style of animation and I did enjoy the story as well. I know some others might have not enjoyed it as much just because of the more like targeting towards a much younger audience, but it definitely still, there is that small bit of potential, but not nearly as much as the first 2 shorts that I discussed. And then the next one that we have is Sweatin' to the Goldies, and honestly, this is one of my favorite shorts. I won't spoil if it's my number 1 because I did do a ranking video on that, but it was definitely one of my favorites. And honestly, with this one, I don't like, I think you could continue it, but I also feel like there isn't like not a direct continuation. Like, of course, I don't think we're going to get to see the villain Reflectra return in like the exact next short and then see Zane and like Jay kind of going along with it. But I do think the only point of maybe continuation that you could do, and maybe even switching the tones of the story as well, was kind of the small setup at the beginning of the short where we got to see basically Clutch just seemingly disappear from making another wish from, of course, the teapot of Tyran. So I definitely think there is potential for them to sort of expand with that storyline. Maybe not directly the the Jay and Zane storyline, but actually go with Clutch's storyline and maybe even do it in a different animation style. Even though I love this style, I would like to see more in this style. It's honestly one of my favorites, but I think there is potential for that. Not as much as the first 2, as I had said earlier, but I definitely do think you could expand upon that for that smaller story point as well, or just do more sort of stories like mini ones like this in this animation style as well, following some of the other ninja also. So that would definitely be great to see as well. One thing I do want to mention with this one specifically is that, of course, we got to see once again Jay and Zane in their golden outfits, and we got to see Kai and Nia as well, but we never wound up getting to see actually Cole and Lloyd, I suppose, in his 10th anniversary golden suit, I guess. I know we've seen Lloyd as the Golden Ninja plenty of times through like Ninjago's sort of entire lifetime, but still, specifically for their 10th anniversary outfits, we didn't get to see Cole or Lloyd be featured. So I think it could be a cool opportunity with this sort of style of short to maybe feature them in another one where they get to go on an adventure together. So I definitely think that could be cool to do that as well. But that's all of the thoughts I kind of have for this short here. And now the final one that we have here is the Golden Hour short, and this is one where I think they more so were setting up stuff, not even setting up, but more so just filling in a gap in Ninjago's sort of timeline, of course, between season 7 and 8, and I think honestly it fulfilled that purpose. I know there's still a few unanswered questions about the time twins, of course, but I spoke about this in one of the other videos I did for the Reimagined shorts, where I kind of touched on the fact that I think they kind of left that open-ended because I believe that they might want to kind of expand upon the time twins within the actual Ninjago series, because I would consider kind of the Ninjago Golden Hour short to be the one that's at least the closest to being actual canon for the Ninjago series. So I definitely think that that could work really well if they expanded upon sort of the time twins within the series, if they were to ever return within the main continuity. But for this actual short, I don't think they'll continue the story right where they are, because of course they already really have a continuation of it in season 8, Sons of Garmadon, of course, so there isn't really much to continue. So I definitely think that one did do a good job of fulfilling its purpose and ending off on a a good note as well. So I think that one's pretty good for what it is. So I think overall, out of all of these, of course, the 2 highest ones are the Golden Legend short and the Gold Rush one as well. I think those definitely have a lot of potential, but if I were to rank it here just directly from lowest potential to highest, I would say Golden Hour has the lowest potential, not because I don't like it. Obviously, I liked all of the Reimagined shorts. I thought they were all fantastic. But just ranking the potential of sequels, I'd say Golden Hour would be the lowest, then I would say A Day in the Life of a Golden Ninja, probably Sweatin' to the Goldies after that one, then I would say Gold Rush, and then the highest one with the most potential would probably be Golden Legend, because I believe that one just has a story that would be really cool to continue, and something that you wouldn't really see in the regular Ninjago continuity in the actual series, because it's definitely a very different tone than what they normally do. So yeah, those are basically basically all my thoughts on these shorts right here, and if I think they're going to wind up getting sequels. But be sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Let me know which ones you think are going to get sequels in the future, if you think they're going to go that route, or if you think they're going to go with all completely new original ideas, then let me know what some of those could wind up being as well. But thanks so much for checking out the video. If you did enjoy, it would be highly appreciated if you could leave a like, also subscribe as well. If you would like to check out some of my other content, that would be highly appreciated. So thank you so much. I'll see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.